Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session on the karmic balance sheet. So today we'll be talking about a couple of other things than our karmic balance sheet. In our previous episode, we talked mostly about prosperity and money related issues. Today we'll talk a little bit about relationships. Okay. So with that, let's start with an invocation. Let's close our eyes, connect the tongue to the palate, inhale and exhale. Let us invoke to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, abundance, and prosperity. We thank you. Inhale and exhale. Let's do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Take a deep breath. Let's be aware first of what we have. Let's be grateful for what we already have. And with that contentment and gratitude, let us look forward to the other things that we wish to ask. Gently open your eyes when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so karmic balance sheet. So today we'll talk about another aspect of our karmic balance sheet, which relates to people. Okay, so we have different kinds of, sorry, we have different kinds of people in our life. So for now, let's focus on two types. One is our friends, and the other is our family. Okay, so when we look at friends, and why we call this the karmic balance sheet is because some of us have friends who can be really helpful, who help us in many different ways. Sometimes they help us more than our family. And sometimes we have family that is very helpful and we don't have that many friends. Okay. Doesn't matter. The point is, we're just trying to evaluate the different aspects and to understand where is our karmic balance sheet stronger and where do we need to put in a little bit of work. And also, of course, to be grateful for what we have. Okay. So, the attitude of gratitude, I think, is one of the most important things. So, friends. So of course there's school friends, and then there's college friends, and then there's what we call activity friends, and then there is work friends. Okay, so we'll talk about these four friends quickly. So school friends are people who we obviously we meet in kindergarten or somewhere like that, and they're the people with whom no matter whenever we connect back. So there are school friends, then everybody separates when there's college, and then marriage, children, work, etc., etc. And then after a couple of years, I think once you're probably 40 or something, you start to get in contact with your school friends again, right? And it feels like nothing has changed. So the way I think about this is probably because the relationship is so much deeper. So to me, like school friends are like angels in the sense that they're people who are sort of with us when we're young, and they're also with us at the later stages of life, right? So just think back at, like, some school friends that you have, someone who you may be in touch with, someone who you may not be in touch with. But just let's think and use this exercise to be grateful also. So let's be grateful for school friends that we have, and also for the future, Let's decide, or let's think of, one or two friends who we are going to call, who we haven't spoken to in a while. So why are we doing this? We're doing all of this to improve our karmic balance sheet, right? Maybe, when you reach out to somebody with affection, then guess what's going to come back to you is affection, right? And this kind of affection doesn't have anything attached to it. You don't need anything from them. They don't need anything from you. It's just, give and take. Yeah. Okay. The next kind of friends we're going to talk about are the college friends. So college friends, are a little different. We don't, sometimes we develop very strong bonds in college as well. Or if we haven't been to college, then, work friends. And these are friends where, we tend to they tend to be more activity based. So it's like, either because we enjoy playing a game together, or we enjoy going out together, enjoy movies together, whatever it is. So those are more activity based friends. Generally we may find, and it's just not, this is not a this is not a, it's not a rule by any chance. These are just my observations, and these are the ways in which I feel that we can improve our karmic balance sheet, is to be aware of what we have. So if we think of, friends that we have from college or from work who have been, very helpful to us in our times of need, like, a colleague at work who really helps you out, or a college friend who really helped you study when you hadn't studied the whole term. Yeah. So again, let's talk about those school friends. So today we'll also bless our school friends and our college friends. So these are also important relationships, right? Sometimes we think that, oh, family members, and then, sometimes if we have issues with our family, then we're feeling kind of stuck. But we need to be aware that we always have the ability to improve our karma. We always have the ability to improve our karmic balance sheet by investing in certain other relationships. So sometimes what happens to us is that because we are not getting something from, let's say, a particular family member, we begin to feel bad about ourselves, like, oh, look at that person's father, or look at that person's husband, or that person's wife, and, wow, she's doing such a good job, blah 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 blah, right? We forget that, there is a way for us that Master Choa Kok Sui has very beautifully shared with us on how we can, reduce these pains in relationships and therefore improve our karma. And also that we can just start taking those actions that we want. So we'll just discuss about family for a bit. So in family, we have children, we have parents, and we have our spouse, for the most part, right? Now the relationship with the parents is, probably till we are 18 or 19, for the most part. That's when the relationship is most intense. After that, it becomes a little bit more, flexible. But till we are with our parents, the relationship is very intense. And sometimes people are like, my father didn't do this, or my mother didn't do this. Yeah, maybe there are certain things that they didn't do. But again, if we can be grateful for what they did do, and one of the things that they did do is that they gave us this particular physical body, this physical body that allows us to evolve. So, gratitude for what is working in our body would be a great way to improve our karmic balance sheet. Again, so I'd like you to, just be aware while we are having this chat, to just think back as to, you know, if nothing else, our parents have given us this body, right? Now, sometimes we'll be like, yeah, but, genetically, I had this problem, I'm, what should I say? Let's say, for example, diabetes, like, because my family members had diabetes, so I also have it. So as if it's like a fault of theirs, right? The point is, it's not a fault of theirs. It's not only a point of fault of theirs, because when we decided to incarnate, these are one of the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui, that when we decided to incarnate, we chose our parents. What that basically means is that we chose the genetic profile. Just like when you go in a supermarket and you say, I want this, and I want this, and I want that, and you just put it all in your basket, right? Right? And then you check it out. Now, one thing, of course, you have to keep in mind is the budget, right? You can't go into the supermarket and buy things that are beyond your budget. So, whatever was in our budget, which means whatever was our karmic balance sheet, those options were available to us. And from there, we have chosen a certain set of parents who have helped us give this body. But also, every person comes with their own genetic profile, and so we've inherited that genetic profile. Now, for us to make the most of it, we have to make sure that the environmental factors that can cause certain ill health to happen, that we use our free will and that we control ourselves, right? Of course, there is the angle of free will, destiny, and there's also gratitude. So again, gratitude is a great way of improving what we call our karmic balance sheet. So we can be grateful to our parents for what they did do, which is this physical body. Perhaps our parents also helped us get educated, so we can be grateful for that. Perhaps our parents also helped us with our work, with finances, and things like that. So we can be grateful for that as well. Okay. Now, as we were saying, the point that comes a point at which the relationship of the parents becomes less relevant. Then we have the relationship with the spouse. Now, the spouse again is someone who comes into our life, and the longest relationship is that with the spouse in general, of course, unless the spouse passes away, or like even if not you, but even if someone has a divorce, even then the relationship with the spouse is still there, because if you have kids then you're interacting, right? So the relationship with the spouse is the longest. So that's where the maximum karma has to be worked out. Okay. Sometimes we get these ideas from people. We watch movies, romantic movies, and we think, okay, happily ever after. Yeah, happily ever after is good, but there is a lot to be sorted out in that relationship. So one thing to keep in mind is, with the spouse we have the maximum stuff to be worked out. So again, let's think back at, of course, positive ideas about our spouse. Did they do one thing nice in their entire lifetime for us? Yeah. So we can be grateful for that. If we have beautiful children, we can be grateful to our spouse for their contribution to those children. If our children are not as we want them to be, then we can just be aware that, well, at least we have kids. Ask those people who don't have kids, yeah, how much they, how many things they do for fertility treatments and this and that. So for those of us who have kids, let's be grateful to our spouse for their contribution to this. Yeah. And then of course we have children. Again, the children, in terms of karmic obligation, in the beginning, there is a lot of joy, obviously, while they're young. And then as they grow older, we begin to have expectations from our children, and then things begin to change a little bit, right? So, again, the relationship with the children is also relatively shorter, in the sense that once they're 18 or 20 or whatever it is, they will tend to move on to live their own life. Okay. Again, if we have issues with our children, then forgiveness is a great tool to help reduce those pains and aches. And we've done this with many people who've had relationship issues with their children. If not with children, then perhaps with daughter-in-law, son-in-law directly. So again, we need to be aware that this entire circle, friends, school friends, college friends, activity friends, work friends, family, parents, children, spouse, all these form our karmic balance sheet, and they all perform a different function in our life, right? The children, we are supposed to love in unconditionally. We receive unconditional love from our parents. With our friends, it's like a relationship of equality, but there are a lot of activities that we do, so there's a lot of cross learning. So again, in terms of improving our balance sheet, let's also first also be aware of what we have. Do we have a few good friends? Do we have few members of our family? And then of course there's also distant relatives, right? Sometimes you always find like an uncle or an aunt or a distant relative or a grandparent who's being very supportive to us. Yeah. So the attitude of gratitude. So let's just close our eyes for a few seconds and let's improve our balance sheet right now. Okay. How are we going to do that? I want us to think of one school friend, one happy memory of a school friend, and be grateful to God for that one school friend. One school friend. We all have at least one. Okay. Yeah, I know you want to stay there, but let's move on. Now let's think of one college friend. Again, let's be grateful to God that we weren't lonely in college. We had at least one friend. Yes. Happy memories of college. Now let's think of our work friends or our sports friends or our kitty friends or what else? I don't know, sports, cooking class. some friend that you made at a later point in life, after college. So let's thank God for that friend as well. What this also tells us is that although sometimes we may feel that we don't have friends, we at least have three, which means that we definitely have the ability to make friends. So we can make more. Okay. So now let's think of being aware of other friends that we're going to make. Okay. So today, after the meditation, we're going to bless the friends we're going to make. Okay. Okay. Now for family, let's think of one happy memory with our children. If you don't have children, that's fine. You can think of a sibling who is younger than you or a cousin who's younger than you. One happy, funny, cute, beautiful moment that makes your heart smile and you feel good. Yeah. So let's be grateful for that moment. Now let's think of our spouse. Yes, right now we may be having a little bit of kitpit, but let's think of our spouse, maybe a romantic moment when we were younger, or if you, yeah, just think of something. They must be doing something at some point, even if it was just to bring you a piece of, I don't know, just to do the groceries on time. At least that day they did it on time. Yeah, there's always something to appreciate. So let's be grateful for our spouse. And let's be grateful for our parents who gave us this physical body. Let's have an attitude of gratitude for what we have. And in case you have like a relative or, an elderly friend or an elderly relative or a young relative who is currently helping you in some way, let's be grateful for that person as well. Let's close our eyes, be grateful. Now let's think of one person with whom we may be having some difficulty in relationship. Let's visualize that person. So I'm using this quote from Experiencing Being, Golden Lotus Sutra by Master Choa Kok Sui. Okay. He says, let's look at that person and let us say, you are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. We have to repeat this 7 times for 7 days. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Look into the eyes of the person. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Visualize them in front of you. Visualize them, becoming like a light. There's a part of God that's in them as well. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Look into their eyes. Feel the softness. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. One last time. Open your heart. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. It says here on page 18, forgive other people before you ask for forgiveness. As your sensitivity increases, you must practice patience and forgiveness. Forgive, forgive, forgive. As you forgive, you will be forgiven. This is from Experiencing Being, Golden Lotus Sutra, Master Choa Kok Sui. So I hope you're feeling better, both in terms of gratitude for what we have and for having forgiven at least one person who may be giving us some kind of issues. Okay. So with that feeling of peace and love, we'll move on to the next part. Let's be aware of our crown. Let's be aware of our heart. Let's be aware of the energy that flows when we are aware of our crown and aware of our heart. Let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's bless all our school friends. Let's remember our school, the buildings, the teachers, the principals. Maybe they were strict, maybe they were not. Let's bless all of them. Remember, blessings is the easiest way to improve our balance sheet, our karmic balance sheet, because we are channeling good energy to everybody. Okay, so now let's bless our colleges, all the professors, the the college mates, the dorms. Bless everyone. Everything that we complained about, right? Let's bless all of that with divine energy, with improvements, with love, with guidance. Now let's bless our workplace, our employer, our employees, our clients. Yes, there may be some things that may not be great. Remember, those are our lessons. We have to learn from them. We have to learn patience, tolerance. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to bless. So let's bless. Let's bless our family members, our parents, our children, our spouse, our neighbors, people who we live with, people who work with us. Let's bless everyone. Let's also bless the entire planet Earth with freedom from the coronavirus. May the coronavirus be resolved, be removed and disintegrated from the Earth's energy body with the grace of the Buddha Kuan Yin. May the Lords of Karma help us as humanity learn our lessons rapidly and properly so that the lesson of Corona can be withdrawn. Let's learn the lessons of patience, love, reducing our unnecessary desires. Let's bless everyone with peace, harmony, and love. Inhale, be aware of the crown. Exhale from the hands. Bless every person, everything. Take a few more seconds to bless anything else. People who've asked for blessings. Let's bless ourselves, our financial targets, our relationship targets, our health targets, and our spiritual targets. And also take some time to visualize these materializing as if they've already happened. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Those of us who are watching this video later on YouTube, in case you're interested in joining us for the meditation or receiving the healing, then I'd request you to join us at 4 o'clock India Standard Time. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp number provided in the window below, and then you can join us and we will do healing for you during the session. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to stream a recorded copy of the meditation, so we won't be doing that. However, if you wish to do the meditation online, it is recorded in my voice and you can use that particular version. It's called the Meditation on Twin Hearts. Okay. And you'll find many other recordings also by others. Okay. Bye.